The thoughts, views, and opinions are that of my own. I'm not a salesman. I am not your financial advisor. I cannot be bought. This is all entertainment. Y'all know what it is. Let's go. Peace, mic check, 1 2 1 2. This is your host, EQ, and welcome to the Cipher. Straight out of Prince George's County, Maryland. Pretty Girl County. Y'all already know what time it is. Put fire in the chat. Let's go. Hope y'all having a beautiful night. And hope y'all gonna have a good day. I appreciate y'all coming in, rocking with your boy, hanging out. We gonna Drake responsibly. Fire in the chat. What up? Drink of the night, Glenmorangie Signet. One of my favorite whiskeys. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about some real things. And we're gonna pay the bills. Y'all already know when y'all come in. Y'all know the routine. Hit the like button, please. It helps the channel grow. All right, getting some things taken care of. How y'all feeling tonight? What's y'all center of the days? And we gonna see. We gonna get to it. Let me see those center of the days in the chat. What up? What up, Motown? What up, Darius? What up, Kyla? What up, Fox? What's up, Clark? Scent my style. What's up, fam? Start wearing blue sapphire to the gym, Holmes. That's crazy. That's my guy. So we're gonna get to it. Can y'all hear me all right? Can y'all hear me all right? We looking a little low, but y'all already know what it is. We just gonna go ahead and get to it. We don't hold up for anybody coming in. If people want to come in, they can just come in. It is what it is. We're gonna have a conversation, whether it's 50 people or it's 200 people. We just gonna get to it. So, welcome to the Cipher, episode number 18. This is my 18th live I have done. Thank you for the super chat. Salute, Center of the Day, Green Leather by Daniel Hosey A. Great scent, great scent. A very light Tuscan leather kind of fragrance, an all year round leather fragrance. You cannot go wrong with that. So the title of the show is Performance and Fragrance Overrated. My answer to that is yes and no. But we're going to get into it. But before we get into that, we're going to pay the bills. Y'all already know I'm going to give you my scent of the day. So my scent of the day is a newer acquisition. I believe this might be a 2023 release, I believe, or it might be 2022. I don't know. Put it down in the chat. But this is from one of the easiest houses to get into if you're going to get in the niche. To be honest, I don't even say if you're going to get in the niche. I think if you're getting into fragrance, I would direct you into this house. I wouldn't make you go buy a whole bunch of Bleu De Chanel and everything else. I just say start buying Mancera. And my scent of the day is one that I've been loving. This is going to be a summer banger for me. Not because it's the greatest Mancera out there, but because it just resonates with me. And that's French Riviera. So let me tell you about French Riviera. So the thing with French Riviera that this reminds me of, it just resonates with me. It's not a beast mode fragrance. It doesn't need to be. That's part of the show. Beast mode fragrances, it's just overrated. Some people think because it don't last, it sucks. No, there's a time and place for everything. That's going to be the motto for the day. Everything has a time and place. So with French Riviera, can y'all hear me okay? I just want to make sure y'all can hear me on the mic. So the thing with this fragrance, to briefly forget the notes. What does this smell like? This smells like the fresh air coming off the ocean. That is it. Now, I don't know how many of y'all like to travel, especially travel to the Caribbean. I never been to the French Riviera, but I can imagine it smells the same. First and foremost, if you ever been anywhere out the country, or, you know, if you live out the country, I mean, it's kind of like if you live in the French Riviera, that's not really not out the country if you live there. But if you ever been somewhere where the ocean sea is this gradient of blue, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The air out there smells different from the air in New York City, the air in Washington, D.C., the air in Chicago. It just smells different. You got that breezy, cloudy, it's like you get this musk in here where you get this cloudy effect, just fluffy. White musk is just a great overall just fragrance to wear in any season, but especially hot weather. White musk give you that soft, cloudy effect. It's slightly aldehydic. I feel like that's where the ginger and some fruits that's in there. I don't care about the notes, but it gives it almost like airy, aldehydic, breezy effect with the musk. So imagine the breeze coming off the clear, salty ocean. A fragrance like this isn't made to fill a room. It's not. It don't supposed to. Now, is this the overall best smelling Mancera? No. Is it like the greatest, newest thing? No, but it resonates with me. If you ever been out the country and you know what you open up your balcony and you just smell the ocean breeze, that's what this is. Is the ocean breeze loud? I mean, I guess. But in the grand scheme, no, it shouldn't smell loud. So if you're wearing this out, and I'm talking extreme heat, really humid, you know how you wear some fragrances and it can feel a little sticky? This is one that's just going to feel clean, refreshing. I like this fragrance. I like it a lot. My scent of the night, because I'm going to probably get out of here and go hit a cigar lounge. I might go smoke one, have a good time, drinking the whiskey. It's from the House of Fragrance Dubois. Everybody talks about Sada Oud. I don't think that's the best oud or the best fragrance from the house. This fragrance right here is from one of my favorite perfumers in all of fragcom, and that's Christian Provenzano. I'm going to have to honor that man because that man puts in work. This is Parisian. This the one, people. This is the one. Excellent sprayer. Excellent sprayer. What do you get here? This is rose, oud. There's almond in here. It's kind of bright. I believe grapefruits in here. There's an almond in here, some patchouli, but that adds almost this creamy, smooth, buttery effect to the leather accord in here. So you get a lot of leather, labdanum, nothing birchy, but just smooth leather, really great resinous oud, nothing animalic, nothing unbearable, but pure, unadulterated, authentic oud. It smells of it. Amazing rose oud. You can't beat it. Christian Provenzano. When I want to go out the house and I want to smell exotic, I grab for Christian Provenzano fragrances. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to talk about 5 real quick, before we get into the show. Let's talk about 5. One of my favorites from Christian Provenzano, a buttery rose oud from the house of Boadicea. He is the house perfumer for Boadicea, and that is Namir. Bro, buttery rose oud. The rose isn't jammy, it's bright, it's citric, it's fresh. I believe some lemongrass is in here. Bro, it's like none other. Buttery. That's how I would describe this fragrance, a buttery rose oud. People say rose oud don't get compliments. Stop wearing Mancera, Montal, and these cheap rose ouds saying it don't get compliments. It do. I'm telling you, bro. Another one of Christian Provenzano's fragrances that I absolutely love, also from the house of Boadicea, and that is Jasmine. Bro, another fragrance. Not a room filler. Namir, not a room filler, leaves a sexy sillage. This is a rose oud like no other. Both rose ouds, they smell nothing alike. Stop thinking rose ouds smell alike. This, how would I describe it? This smells like a fresh rosé wine that's been inside a cherry oak barrel cask from Napa Valley. Bro, oh, compliments. It's not a room filler. It's not made to be. I don't care how much it costs. But when you smell it, you cannot deny quality. You can't. Another a fragrance I wore on a couple of lives is my scent of the night. Carbon Sapphire. One of the best, probably my second best rose fragrance that exists. Why? It uses, to me, the second best rose that you can use in all perfumery, and that's May Rose or Rose de Mai. To me, the best rose is Taif Rose. This is bright, citric, but it also contrasts with the darkness of the oud, the musk, the ambery nuance. This is oud de song. It is not animalic. It's not too smoky, just a hint of smoke, earthiness. It doesn't smell like Namir. It doesn't smell like Dasman. All rose ouds aren't created equal. Superb. And y'all already know another one I talked about from Christian Provenzano from House of Electimus. I paid for this. This wasn't gifted to me, and that's Octavian. Bro, crazy, crazy work. Crazy work. And last but not least is my favorite fragrance of all time from Christian Provenzano, and that's Blue Sapphire. Now, this is a room filler. This fills a room. Why am I talking about all these fragrances? Because it's all about time and place. Is there a time I need to wear this? Is there a place I need to wear this? Yeah, kind of is. When you wear this, you must be committed. It is one of the only fragrances I know that the opening lasts for like 4 to 5 hours. And I'm talking loud. You can't hide from it. Your nose just isn't cutting it off. It's just going to last. You got to be committed. You got to be committed for the morning when you spray it on, the day when you get out the shower, and when you wake up in the morning. You got to be committed. I don't wear this that much. With all these fragrances, is everything performed like this beast mode? What'd be the point of owning a whole bunch of fragrances? You'll never wear them and never get through them. Y'all saw my other video. Wear your damn fragrances. Wear them. But you barely, this is a 4 spray at most, and that's crazy, 4 sprays. That's going to last me a lifetime. So we're going to get to it. We're going to go ahead and get to it. Is longevity in fragrance overrated? My response to that is yes and no. Longevity doesn't make a fragrance better. There's an obsession within this community about beast mode. I don't know when that started. What, 2016, 17? Maybe with Jeremy Fragrance, maybe. But I've been wearing fragrances for a long time. Not collecting as much, but I've always worn fragrances since I can remember. Part of, I don't know, being a man or being one of those guys or trying to be one of those guys is dress good, get money, smell good. That was like and be charismatic. That was like the qualities to get women. Simple. You had to smell good, bro. But nobody back in the days walked in the thing and said, well, how long does it last? It was like, bro, it smell good? Great, let me get it. But now with clones, with these overly synthetic nuances and fragrances, it's just everybody wants everything to last forever, and it doesn't need to be that way. We'll get into it. Again, is performance in fragrances overrated? My response to that is yes and no. People also, I have a link pinned to the top of the comments where if you want to join the discussion after I kind of finish my monologue, let's talk about it. Some of y'all love beast mode fragrances. I'm not saying you right. I'm not saying you wrong, but let's talk about it on air. Y'all, a lot of y'all gonna be typing. I'm doing a show. I'm looking at the camera. I'm not going to be able to see every comment. I will see the super chats, but I won't see every comment. If you really want me to get to a comment, I'm not begging for money, but super chatting is a way to do it. Or come on in, let's just talk about it. Let's stop with all the, we all got camera phones. Let's just get to it. And that's in a respectful way. I'm never going to disrespect you unless you come in my house talking crazy, and then we just going to get to it. But other than that, let's talk about it. When building a fragrance wardrobe, I talked about this. Why do you need fragrances to last all day? Why do you need fragrances to last all day? I don't know. People like, well, you know, if I pay $200, money doesn't dictate if something lasts long. That's not how life works. In no shape or form. A big bottle, you don't have to drink this Glenmorangie Signet. You don't have to drink this. Go get you some E&J. This is like, what, $250? You don't have to drink this. Or maybe you can find it like 100 and something, maybe, if you're lucky. But it's up there. You don't have to buy this to get drunk. Go drink you some Bud Light. Is Bud Light better than this? I don't think so. Maybe you do. Maybe you like drinking E&J. I don't. I'd rather drink water. The Erkin Jerk. The Easy James. No, thank you. Give me a glass of water. Money doesn't dictate if something smells good. You ever heard of the saying that luxury? Do you know the definition of luxury? Luxury cost. It is what it is. People like, well, if I pay, nobody will know. You're right. Nobody will know. So go buy you a pair of UA Jordans. Nobody will know. Go buy you a Louis Vuitton from out New York at the corner. Most people can't tell you if you got a real purse or not. Nobody knows. You know who knows? You do. You know who got to like the fragrance? You do. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't care. I'm just giving my unsolicited opinion. I'm good at it. But money doesn't dictate. If you think so, don't type. Just come on the air. Let's talk about it. We can talk about it. We can get to it. Why do you need fragrance last all day? Now, for granted, if I'm at work, sometimes you might want a fragrance. Most people work 8-hour days, if not 10 hours. And then the average American, at least, travels about an hour to work on average, if you live in a big city, give or take with traffic. So you're looking at, if you work for 10 hours, you might want to go get happy hour. You're looking at 12, 13, traveling. You be like, I don't want to wear it. Just make a little decant, bro. Amazon, it ain't that much to get you a decant sprayer. Spray it on. But that's not even necessary, and I will go to some reasons why that's not necessary later on. But outside of work, where are you going where you need fragrances to last all day long? Why is this chair sinking? God damn, I need a new chair. Why do you need fragrances to last all day? Out of work. Real question. Where you going? Outside of work. Just get it. I get it. Work scent. And a majority of people spend their time at work. I get it, but I like to go out. I like to be outside. I don't know about you. You might like to stay in the house. I like to be outside. I want to go to a lounge, a bar. I want to smell good when I do it. But I'm only going to be there for 4 hours at the most. I'm not one of those get there be free before 8. I'm a club that lets out at 2, that ends at 2. I'm probably not even getting there till 11:30, 11:30 at the earliest. Probably won't get there till 12. I want to be in, I want to be out, hear music, go. Unless it's an artist playing at the club or something, I'm in and I'm out. A date, okay, I pick you up, we drive, we talk, we go get something to eat, we converse at the table. We rather go back to your place, go back to my place, or we go our separate ways. How long is that going to take? 4 hours? Why do I need a loud fragrance to last all day long? Why do I need it? I don't know. I want somebody really call in, get on camera, let's talk about it. I want to know what y'all doing. I just want to know. I don't live that kind of life, and I'll be outside. I kind of want some tips. Where y'all be going, where y'all need things to last all day. Some fragrances are called fragrances of luxuries. All of them. I don't care if they $50, $70. They're not necessities. It's not eggs and water and gas. It's a luxury. It's not a necessity. Where are y'all going? Outside of work, nowhere. Does your entire collection am I saying on camera, does your entire collection need to be fragrances that smell as light as Eccentric Molecules 01? No. I'm a man of logic. I think that's an illogical and irrational and intellectually dishonest response. Use your brain. I don't think so. That's why I say yes and no. There's a time and place for it. There's a time where I just want to wear this. It's a time where I want to layer this. But your whole collection don't need to be like that. I've already talked about building a fragrance wardrobe. I will build on that. So let's go into your sense of smell. The reality of fragrance is it's lasting longer than you think it's lasting. How many of y'all have worn a fragrance and you was like, dang, this ain't really lasting, and you getting compliments 8-9 hours later? How many? This is the fragrance I love, and I'm gonna be pulling out fragrances as examples. Elysium, Parfum Cologne. Love this fragrance. People complain about the performance. I get 8 hours, but I also don't overspray. I don't go around putting 20 sprays of everything on. Some things might need more sprays. Summer sprays, depending on where I'm at, some things might need more sprays. But this whole, I'm going to put 15, 20 sprays of everything, is rather flamboyant energy to me. That to me, I think it's flamboyant. And by definition, it's flamboyant. Take it how you want to take it. But you're ruining your experience. You're ruining your nose. Why do I say that? You ever been around a smoker? You ever been around somebody's house that smokes cigarettes? You know, after a while, they don't even smell that their house smells like an ashtray. You ever been around somebody who's be hoarding books and you be like, bro, it smells like rigor mortis in here and old moldy books. And they live in there and you be like, yo, I don't know how you can live in here. You know why? Because they can't smell it. Their nose have turned it off. But when I walk in, I can smell it. You know why? Because I don't live in there every day. The majority of people don't wear fragrances all the time. They don't. Again, I asked this question in all my lives. This week, how many people did you go by that was wearing fragrance? I know it's a guy that's in my gym. I know he watching somebody because he's wearing a couple of exotic fragrances to the gym. Dude with a beard. He always wearing something. I'm like, oh, he watching Big Beard, or he watching Bow Tie, or he watching Curly. He watching somebody. But other than that, like, when I might have smelt 5 people throughout the week. How many of y'all smelt? Put it in the comments. How many? Most people don't wear fragrances. Not on a daily basis. On the weekends, going out, the more than likely that you might smell somebody tonight if you go out on a Friday, Saturday night, Sunday night, is higher percentage. But on a Monday through Friday, when the last time you smelled somebody? If you be outside, again, some of y'all just go to work and y'all be inside the house, yet y'all be complaining about longevity. And I get it. If you're a collector, collect. I don't care. Spend your money. Buy a whole bunch of fragrances. But even then, why does longevity matter? You're in the house. You don't do anything. You don't go nowhere. You go to work, you go home. That's cool. I'm not knocking you. Save your money. You don't need to be outside. But you worry about club bangers and panty droppers, and you in the house. Unless you ordering call girls off a back page, no one's knocking on your door like, let me drop my panties for you. I smelt you from across the room. They're not coming to your house, bro. Unless you making house calls and, hey, your money, I don't really care. That's what you got to do. Hey, man, live on. Do your thing. But most of y'all, some of y'all be spending time in the house with Jergens, Mr. Jergens. Worry about panty droppers. Relax, bro. The panties aren't going to drop. But when the last time you've been in somebody's house to be smoking? You don't know. How many of y'all some of y'all think most of my demographics fall in about what? Think around 25, 30. So some of y'all got some old school parents or grandparents that been around. Remember when you was young, you outside playing and you come in the house and parents be like, bro, you smell like outside. You smell like outside. You don't know that. You just be like, y'all been outside. You ever been inside the house and a whole bunch of kids, musky kids come in the house? You be like, man, y'all go take some baths or get outside, go play. Y'all smell like outside. They don't smell it. They don't know. Why? Their sense of smell. It's lasting longer than you think it's lasting. Your nose will not detect everything. Are there some fragrances that just, I don't care what your sense of smell is, it's going to last long? Yeah. Magnamari, Blue Sapphire. Yeah, I think, I don't know what they put in there. Some crack. I don't know. I don't care what your nose doing. You're going to smell it. But then again, I think one spray of this, sometimes it's too much. There's been times where I got to catch myself. I might put like 2 sprays and I'll be like, I feel like I need to put some more. And then I go upstairs or I pass somebody and they be like, oh, you just sprayed some fragrance from across the room. You're like, oh, okay. All right. I'm putting too much. I think there's going to be enough. But in my mind, I'm like, I smell it, but I don't really smell it. I know it lasts, but I don't really smell it. Trust me, it's louder than what you think. Pet owners. How many times you walk and somebody got a whole bunch of cats in their house? Smell like piss. They don't know. They don't. Why don't they know? Because they're spraying all the time. Listen, sometimes you have to reset your nose. I might go a week and not put any fragrance on. None. Like if I think I'm going to be in the house or a weekend, sometimes I will take a break. I just want to refresh my nose. At best, I might go downstairs or go into my vault and do this. Just to smell and be like, oh man, that smells good. And that's it. I won't wear nothing. I won't. Sometimes you got to reset your nose. If you're smoking every day, if you got dogs in your house all the time, you don't know they stink. But when people come over your house, they be like, dog, wash your dog. It stinks. Yo, empty that cat litter. Smells like piss. They don't know. I travel to Belize. You go in there and hold on. Somebody gave me a super chat. I want to always read the super chat. Great stream. What's a good fragrance from Frederick Malle besides Portrait of a Lady? Frederick Malle's The Moon. Listen, man, I love my Rose Ooze. The Moon. Bro, you want to talk about compliments? Crazy work. Crazy, but that's going to run you a little bit. I'll circle back on that. I'll tell you what, hit me in my IG inbox. I'll give you a couple of Frederick Malles to look at. But there are some people, like I think, check out Sebastian. He might have reviewed the whole house. I think he owns like everything. Check those out. Some of the ones I own, like Promise, ain't gonna be for everybody. If you ain't in the Cyprial, that's just not gonna be for everybody. But again, hit my inbox and we can build on that. Belize is one of my favorite locations. But if you start going to Belize like around June, July, maybe early August, you got sargasm that happens. I went there July, maybe about 5 years ago, in sargasm. What's that? That's when the seaweed starts coming up and washing on shore. When I got off the boat and landed in San Pedro, it smelled like a wharf, like fish and dead fish. Within 1 hour, in the days that followed, I didn't smell that anymore. And the air smelled lovely. Why? Because my nose already said, we gonna we good, we safe, we gonna go ahead and get rid of that. I couldn't smell it. Don't tell me, and you can't convince me that wasn't still in the air. But I didn't smell it. I also don't think people who work on trash trucks who smelling hot garbage can smell that garbage as stink as if I got on it tomorrow. I'll probably gag. Those who do that for a living, man, they probably get used to it. So again, your sense of smell will dictate a lot of stuff and it will just cut things out. A lot of times we're obsessing over top notes, obsessing over it. Top notes is what get us to buy. What happens? We go into Macy's, we go into Dillard's, we go into Nordstrom, Neiman's, Saks, Sephora. We get a fragrance. They be like, come over here, my guy. Hey, you tried this new fragrance? Let me spray it for you. And they spray it on a card. You smell it, you be like, wow, that's good. It's top notes. And you just jump out and go buy it. My suggestion, just quick suggestion, if you thinking about testing a fragrance or thinking about buying a fragrance, like this Sunday, I'm gonna probably hit Tyson's and do a little bit of fragrance testing. I don't know, some of y'all, hit me in my inbox. We might do a meet and greet day or something. Out Tyson's, I'll be out there. I'll be doing my car thing out there and might hit Tyson's Corner 1 and 2 and hit Saks, all that, and we can build. We'll talk about that probably in my private Facebook group. Link in the bio, you must be subscribed. But we can build if you're in the DMV area, we can build on that. But when I'm going to test fragrances or I'm thinking about buying something, I will walk out the house wearing nothing. Why? Because if I say, okay, let me smell a couple of test strips, I start doing process of elimination. Then I say, let me put it on skin. I'll be back in 20 minutes. I'm going to 20 minutes minimum. It really should be longer. 20 minutes minimum. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to see what it do. I'm going to say, okay, it's yay, nay, because I wanted to transition because the base is really what the fragrance is ultimately going to consist of. That's why good quality fragrances that constantly transition, and this is part of my problem with some clones, is they oftentimes be pretty linear, or they give you a element or the best element of the fragrance, but they don't give you the full transition. Like one, it's hard to clone a fragrance like Diaghilev. It's hard to clone it. I smelled the clone of it. It's horrible in comparison. Miles away in comparison. But a lot of times we're obsessing in that euphoria is over the top notes of fragrances. You got to let fragrance transition. You got to fill it out. Especially after about 4 hours, that's what you're going to end up living with the fragrance for the life of it. Again, a lot of things play into if a fragrance is going to perform. Body chemistry. We're going to talk about that. And I think I was going to do a video on how to make your fragrances, hints or clues on how to make your fragrances last longer. But body chemistry in fragrances matter. It matters. What does your diet consist of? What does that diet consist of? Let me turn something off real quick. Something was working. What does your body consist of? Now, we all know that the human body is made up of like 60% water. You know why some of y'all fragrances don't last long? Besides the fact you don't exercise, you don't drink water. Your skin is dry. I drink at a minimum, I'm drinking a gallon of water a day. I don't care if that's summer or winter. In the summer, I'm probably like drinking a gallon and a half. I drink water. You can't drink soda and mark that down as, that's my liquid for the day. Drink some water. You can have your beer, your whiskeys, but you got to drink water. Some of y'all don't drink water. You also don't know how to properly moisturize, but that's a video for another day. But skin chemistry. What's your environment like? I live in the Washington, D.C. area. I've lived in North Carolina, and I've also traveled different places. If I moved, one place I have been to, which I love dry heat, I've been to San Diego. I've been to my favorite city in the world, San Diego. I think it is the city. It's a wonderful city. Especially the gas lamp district. Man, out there. But if I lived in that dry heat, I'm going to have to take every fragrance I know and retest it. Because the way it performs here in this humidity, It's going to perform different in dry heat. It's going to be different. Do I live in dusty, just dry heat environments like in the Middle East? It's different from living in Washington, D.C. The fragrance is just going to perform different, which is why I always tell y'all to test your fragrances. When you get a fragrance, test it. Act as if you was going to give a fragrance review. Test it. You know what I do when I first get a fragrance? Well, I smell everything. So I really, for the most part, I don't do that much blind buying. I've smelt it before, or I bought a sample. You know what you do? Something like this. One spray. When you're in the house, you think you ain't going nowhere. Let it do what it do. See what happens. Let the scent come to you. See how it's performing. If your hand is all the way out here and you getting wafts all up in here, then you kind of know, oh, that's a little powerful. Okay. I might not need to use common sense. I might not need to do 20 sprays, 50 sprays. I might not need to do that. It's powerful. I'm getting wafts, like my hands like away from me. Test your fragrances. Another good place I like to test fragrances is in the gym. Why? Because I can kind of see what my body temperature is doing. But when I'm testing like Octavian, it's just like a half, a quarter, 1/4 spray on the wrist. Just something slight. I want to see what my body does. And I'm going to tell you, in the heat, as dense as this is with the incense, bro, summer night, forget about it. Again, time and place, we will talk about that. That is the thing. There's a time and place for everything. Again, listen, man, wear your fragrances whenever you want to. But to me, a fragrance is not only a mood, but it's like an outfit. A G-string bathing suit is absolutely stunning on the beaches of Rio. If you in some kind of apartment complex at the neighborhood pool, I don't know if you should have your clappers out. I'm just saying. Time and place. A bathing suit is also nice on the beach. I don't know if you should wear it to a bar mitzvah. Time and place. Do what you want to do, but maybe you shouldn't do that. I don't know. I let common sense prevail. I think everything has a time and a place. I love Coute, boozy, whiskey, cigar. I'm not wearing that to work. Depending on what your job. If you the bosses of bosses, do what you want to do. But most of y'all ain't bosses. Most of us ain't bosses. I'm putting myself in that category. We just can't do what we want to do and just walk around doing whatever. I wouldn't wear that to work. If you want to, hey, have at it, champ. But then again, what is your job? We assume that everybody works in corporate America. We need to stop doing that as reviewers. Reviewers, if you're watching me, we got to stop doing that. Fragrance is the way to work. We forgetting all about those blue-collar jobs, people who work outside, men who work with their hands. All jobs aren't created equal. And I'm not talking about the value of them. I'm just saying everybody ain't in the office wearing a suit all day or some chinos and a button-up. Some people work at Foot Locker. That's okay. You might be a young guy. You work at Foot Locker. It's cool. You might work retail. You work retail, I think you should be wearing fragrance. But you don't really have to buy nothing. No, go to the retail corner, put something on for the day while you at work and call it a day. I would probably, man, if I worked at Saks, I'll probably just go to Saks. What I'm going to wear today? Put it on, start helping customers. It is what it is. Buy what I need. But that would be my work scent. But again, if you work at a nightclub, you work at a strip club, then that's a good work scent. Would you agree? But again, time and place matters. So what is your environment like? Again, I'm going to use 3 different examples to relate to 3 different kind of people. Your collection wardrobe. Think of a beast mode fragrance as like a long-range sniper rifle. That is, if you're in the Midwest and you're going hunting, a long-range rifle, 338 Lapua, 6.5 Creedmoor is going to reach out and touch. If I really want to reach out there, 338. I'm not going 308. The bullet's going to drop. I need the velocity of a 338. 300, you know what I'm saying? 300 Winchester. I need power behind that. I need that to reach out and go. But if I'm in my house for concealed carry, I don't think I'm concealing a sniper rifle and walking around. With that also said, a nice subcompact 9mm, great concealed carry. Great. If you're not a gun guy, just, it's okay. Relax. I'll get to something else, but I'm a gun guy, so it is what it is. That's what I'm going to talk about. A 9mm, great concealed carry. If I'm for home protection, though, I don't think a pistol is good home protection. I think if you got it on you and somebody, like, I may or may not have a firearm within my reach while I'm filming right now. I may or may not. If somebody was to bust in the house, although I don't live in that kind of environment and I don't got problems with nobody, but somebody was to be that, if I had to grab for that, cool. But pure home protection, I wouldn't rely on a handgun. Why? Because under stress, it's inaccurate. It's rather inaccurate. I'd rather have my rifle. I'd rather have my 5.56. I can engage multiple people if multiple people come to my house, or a shotgun, rack, Remington. But even with that said, I don't want to use a slug. That's going through several layers of drywall. You're going to hit your family if you miss. I'm probably going to go buckshot. Again, I say all that to say that tools have different things. A 45 is a great gun. But if I'm going to be in the woods hiking and grizzly bear is going to be out there, I'm not carrying a 45. I'm going to have a 4.4. I'm going to have that 10mm. Just in case, when you seen that guy with that panther, that mountain lion that was in, a 10mm would have ended that real quick. But he did right. He backed away, but a 10mm would have ended it. Boom, done, over with. Let me continue walking. You got to have the right thing for the right thing. Golf. Since people don't like guns, and that's cool, you're entitled to that. I'm going to stay armed. Do what you want to do. Golf clubs. There's 12 golf clubs. And, when you want to get a golf pack, right? You got 3 woods, 1 wedge, 1 putter, 1 hybrid, 6 irons. Do you think you need 12 putters? You want to win a game of golf. You think you're going to win a game of golf with 12 putters? Teeing off with 12 putters? That's crazy. That ball's going nowhere. At the same time, you got the heavy irons. You want to be teeing, I just got to get it a little bit. Nah, it's not the proper. You better get the proper tool for the proper thing. Why am I saying that? Because time and place. Look at fragrance as a tool. Have various tools for various missions, for various operations. I was also in the military. If you're going to be doing CQB, you might want a short barrel rifle. But if you're going to be doing a little bit of CQB and you might go outside and might need to reach out and touch, 16.5 barrel rifle, you might need that. Because I need that twist ratio, power. Again, treat it as such. So you need variety. Thinking about, where are you going? What are you doing? What is your goal? This is probably your most important whenever wearing a fragrance or picking out a fragrance. A lot of us pick out our fragrances through moods, right? We have certain moods. What is my mood? I want to feel sexy. I want to be enticing. I want to be seducing. That's my mood. I might go with Rosendo Matu number 5. Bro, when I say a lingering effect, let me tell you a story. My ex-girl, she would sneak this. She keep hitting me like, man, I need a decan of this. I'm going to hit her with the old commercial. No, my brother, you got to buy your own. Nah, I got you, Slim, if you're watching this. But again, Rosendo Matu, if I spray this down here and I leave, come back 2 hours, it'll just be lingering. Like, you can't come in my house, visit me, spray this, and I not know that you sprayed this. I'm going to be like, oh, you sprayed Rosendo. Didn't I tell you don't touch this? This is one of those ones. This is one of those ones. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those ones. But it lingers. I don't see it as a room filler. But then again, that's not something I sprayed 20 times. But if I did, I don't think it's something that's just gonna, people from across the room is gonna smell you. It's gonna, but as you walk by people, the scent trail is crazy, ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. So that goes to question, what's better? Is projection or is sillage better? I don't know. Depends. What you doing, where you going, what's your goal, what is your purpose? What is your mood? It matters. So instead of, let me see, instead of wearing something like this, then I'd be like, I'm going to a festival and I want everybody to smell me. I'm going to put this on 50 times. Why do that when I can just wear, I don't know, I can wear Neo, a summer scent, and I might do it 8 times, maybe. I might do it like 8 times. I know people will smell me. Now, this is more of a scent trail, not a room filler. But it's going to last. Oh, that's another thing. Overspraying doesn't make something last longer. It might make people smell you more, but if something only lasts 5 hours, I don't care if you put 100 sprays of it. Let's use a little bit of logic. It's still going to only last 5 hours. Overspraying don't make something last longer. Now, if I dumped all this on me, yeah, more people are going to smell it. But if it only lasts 5 hours, it's only going to last 5 hours. So overspraying isn't going to do it. But we have different things that we do. You like to get on an airplane, but you want to wear fresh. Why would I wear Blue Sapphire on an airplane or in the movie theater? Why would I do that? I mean, you can, but if you do so, I think you're an ass clown. If that's what you want to be, cool. But that's what I think of you. Why? Why not just wear Citron, Zaharoff? It's not loud. It's fresh. I'm going to the movies. Boom. About 10 sprays of this. Probably wear this. It's close. It's comforting. It's fresh. Not too much. But I'm going to smell good. I know I'm going to smell good. Again, compliments. I talked about this in my other videos. Compliments real. Most of y'all ain't going to get compliments whether you got beast mode fragrances or not. Let's keep it a buck. How many compliments y'all got this week? Don't lie for the net. This week, out of everything I wore, I might only got 1, 2. That's it. And I'll be around people. It happens. But I'm talking about not from your wife, not from your girlfriend, not from your coworkers who know you are the fragrance person. I'm talking about strangers. Hey, how you doing? I smell you. I got a compliment. 2 ladies. But I also think they was kind of hitting on me a little bit. But that's kind of why people compliment you to a certain degree. Sometimes. Some people just want to be nice. Depends on. Are you in the North or you live in the South? I think people are nice in the South. Overall, I lived in the South for a couple of years when I was in the military. I love North Carolina. But overall, most of y'all, y'all got a million beast mode fragrances. You don't even get the compliments. It doesn't make it better, bro. It does not make it better. What is your goal? Is your goal to seduce? I've always talked about this, and I'm always refer to books. I like to read. I think men should read. You should have a library. If you don't, you should get on that. The Art of Seduction. The Art of Seduction. What are you? Are you the charismatic? It's various different things that we would talk, and let me throw my glasses on for this. I'm going to read a small excerpt. You will not seduce anyone by simply depending on your engaging personality or by occasionally doing something noble or alluring. Seduction is a process that occurs over time. The longer you take and the slower you go, the deeper you will penetrate into the mind of your victim. Listen, man, I'm going to start putting y'all on the free game. The reason I'm not a dating guru, I'm not trying to be Kevin Samuels. I'm not. But why do I always hit on this whole dating relationship thing? Because every time I turn on the internet, the most viewed videos are panty droppers. So clearly, y'all ain't getting ass. So y'all need help. It's the most viewed videos. If I just flat out made a video and said, hey man, how to get some ass, it'll probably be my most viewed video. It probably would be. Panty droppers, how to smash, how to clap some cheeks. It will be the most viewed video. So I keep harping on it because clearly y'all need help. Because y'all obsess over it. If I just did a review on, Carbon Sapphire, just a single review, it wouldn't get the views. 10 fragrances to clap cheeks upside down. Hit it from the side and scissor. Bro, it'd get 1 million views. Put a couple of hot chicks on a thumbnail, it's over with. Numbers skyrocketing. Because y'all easy to manipulate. I'm being honest. But again, when you look at that, it talks about moving slow. There's more excerpts. I'm gonna go ahead and just put y'all on the game because clearly some of you all need it. Never rush into the waiting arms of the first person who seems to like you. That is not seduction, but it's insecurity. Is that something we need to touch on, the insecurity of fragcom? I don't know. The need that draws you will make you for a low-level attachment. And interest on both sides will sag. Look at the types you have not considered before. That's where you will find challenge and adventure. Listen, man. Y'all worry about the fragrances. Your mind. Your mind. I don't even know if I even want to dive into this book, The Way of the Superior Man. So when I talk about things about fragrances and what you need and why you don't need this and why performance is overrated and why you need these fragrances, because I go back to things that I've read and I go back to success rates that I have had within my life. Success and failures. I think you learn more from failures. I've made mistakes. Everything I go out, I ain't clapping, but I ain't trying to either. That's another excerpt in The Art of Seduction. So do you want to seduce? Think of this. If you can smell somebody from across the room, do I need to get closer to smell them? No, I smell them from across the room. There's nothing seducing about that. What I would rather get is a waft. This is why I kind of like sillage a little bit than overall projection. This is why I like Parisian. This is not a beast mode fragrance. It's not. This is something for me and whoever I'm trying to entertain. That's what this is for. Who's around me? Everybody else who's around me won't smell me. But I'm entertaining the people around me. That's what Parisian is for. Now, I'm going to a black tie event. I'm going to a place I know. Like, this is a party. People are in suits. Happy New Year. People were trying to kiss and get some strange loving. Get some strange. Blue Sapphire. That's it. 4 sprays. That's it. Ballroom. As you walk around in a tux, it's going to work. But some of y'all don't be places where y'all wear tux. Y'all don't be nowhere. So that's not going to work. So again, in closing, is fragrance performance overrated? Yes and no, but I think it's important to have variety of what you are doing. A sensual fragrance like Musk Therapy is a year-round, bro. I'm going to give y'all another secret. Seduction. This is for men and women. Get into your musk. I don't know what y'all doing. Chanel 1957. Musk Shamal. Musk Butterfly from Kilian. Musk Therapy from Initio. If you ain't getting into your aldehydic, floral, musk, white musk fragrances, I ain't. Zaharoff. Zaharoff X. I ain't gonna talk about it. that smells like clean sexual sweat. Getting to your musk, I'm telling you, it's something you should dive into, and that's why I like a fragrance like this, French Riviera. High heat. This is not a room filler. I won't wear it for that, and I'm okay with it not being that. But in somewhere where it's close, that's where it's work. So just think about what you're trying to do in closing. Think about your goals. Think about what you are trying to do. Are you trying to be a seducer? Are you trying to crave attention? Are you trying to, do you want admiration? Do you want admiration from one person? Do you want admiration from many? That's going to matter what you wear. There's no point in me spraying Parisian 50 times because I want to get a room filler. No, if I want to do that and I want to get a louder performing fragrance, I'll wear Carbon Sapphire, Rose Oud, or I'll wear Namir. But if I really want something more powerful than that, because I really want everybody and I'm around fragrance influencers, then I'm gonna wear Blue Sapphire. If we go to an event, people just know I'm wearing Blue Sapphire. Don't wear it. We don't want to be twinsies out here. Y'all know what it is. That's my shit. But anyway, with that being said, we're gonna open up the lines. Everybody has their own opinion on it. This is my opinion. You don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. But I want to hear the disagreements. I got one in the background, got my brother. I'm going to bring you on in a second, brother. But I want to hear disagreements. I don't need everybody to agree with me. That's what a discussion is for. Let's discuss, fragcom. People always have a lot to say. Let's talk about it. But with that said, I'm going to bring one of my brothers in. Y'all already know what it is. We hit each other chats. We show each other love. Me and his brother even talk on the phone all the time about fragrances. Yeah, I think we talked recently. When I got this in, I smelled it. I was like, bro, I like this. Yeah, is it kind of basic? Yeah, but French Riviera, that's for me. I'm not telling you go buy this. I am not your salesman. I am not your financial advisor. Don't buy this and come in my inbox and be like, oh, it wasn't all that I thought. I really didn't like it. It didn't perform. I'm going to respectfully or maybe disrespectfully say, bro, I don't care. Stop telling me this. I'm telling you, don't buy it. Sample it. See if it works for you. I'm telling you, it's not going to last. I'm telling you, it's not a loud fragrance. If you do that, that's on you. But this is one of my favorite summer fragrances from Mancera. So with that said, I'm going to bring my guy TLTG Reviews in the house.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, brother?
Hey, look, I want to capitalize off of that. With French Riviera, it's not going to blow you away, but it will help you enjoy your day.
It is my happy juice. It is my happy juice. When I've wore this, bro, it has that kind of musk, like musk wave. Wave musk, I mean. Yeah. But it's not as floral, and wave musk is way more powerful.
I get a little bit more soft creaminess from that one.
Which one? Wave musk?
From French Riviera.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't either. Like I was not expecting it to smell the way it did, but it's a very pleasant, enjoyable, like mellow vibe type of summertime fragrance. It's very mellow.
Yeah. Like I think, like I haven't lived in Louisiana. I believe you lived in Louisiana, right? Or you lived in that deep part. Yeah. So where it's like super hot and you can wear some fragrances like this might be, well, not this per se. I'm trying to think if I got something. You ever had a fragrance that just like in the summertime, you'd be like, I like it, but it's a little sticky.
Yes.
It's kind of,
it's not good in high humidity.
Right.
Things, yeah.
This is one that's, when it's like super hot, like you don't really want to wear fragrance, but you want to wear something, you want to feel happy. It's like soap. It's clean. It's fresh. I like French. I love French Riviera, actually.
I haven't spent too much time with it yet, and I can verify. So he got his nose on it. He got it. He called me immediately. I was in the gym hitting legs. He's like, "Oh man, you getting it in? I'm on the way now. I just wanted to tell you I like it, man."
Yeah, man. It's a good fragrance, bro. It's a good fragrance, really man. Good. But talk to me, bro. Talk to the people.
So here's the thing: if you're looking for a disagreement, I'm the wrong guest to have on because I'm an advocate for performance. I think is more situational than anything else. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you going to be around? What kind of vibe? What mood are you in? All of that really plays into it. If you're really into this, all of that's going to play into it.
Absolutely. And to me, I'm just at the point where, and this might be counterproductive being that I just said I love Mancera, but it's quality. It's quality. If I'm paying a lot of money for something, I don't really look at, it's a couple things I look at. I look at quality of the presentation. That matters to me. How much effort did they put into it? What's the ingredients? When I smell it, do it smell like top-notch ingredients? And let's just be honest. This smells better than any designer oud fragrance you're going to smell. It's just I'm
sure it's known to be like as upper echelon as it gets for perfumery.
Yeah, it is. So if I got quality, I will pay for that. If I only get 7 to 8 hours, I'm cool with that. Now, with that said, I don't necessarily want to get a fragrance that only lasts 2 hours either. Let's be, I'm not going to be that guy on the net and be like, oh, just 2 hours. But some people get fragrances and they be like, well, don't buy EDTs because they don't last long.
But goes exactly into what I wanted to display. Because if that was that important to me, I wouldn't buy fragrances like this.
Let me blow it up real quick so people can see what they're talking about. Hold on, let me blow you up.
These are notoriously known across the internet for not being strong performers. Notice they're still sealed. I just got them in. There's a few more coming. I want to do an entire Tom Ford summer fragrance haul, and everything about these excites me, including them not being 8-hour fragrances. I want a phenomenal experience for 3 or 4 hours. That's what I'm anticipating from these, especially with all the good things I've heard from Justin about this one specifically over the last few years. I'm not going into this saying, well, since I got oily skin, maybe I'll get like 6. If it's 2 or 3, it's 2 or 3. I bought these going into it knowing that they're notoriously known for not having strong performance. Because if you go anywhere on the internet, people will try to deter you from buying these. And I'm an advocate for don't trust my opinion, don't trust his opinion, don't trust everything you read. Got to try these things for yourself. I'm not saying go out and blind buy stuff like this like I did. But if something interests you, try it for yourself. Don't let another man's opinion determine how you spend your money. You can take it into consideration, but don't let it be the sole deciding factor on something, because you'll be missing out on a lot of great experiences, especially in this hobby. You can really miss out on something that you may have potentially loved just because another man didn't care for it. So keep that in mind, guys.
Absolutely. And one of the key points is, remember when Dior Homme 2020 came out, everybody was shitting on it. Now the same people love it. The same people love it.
I was lukewarm on it. I did a review and I was lukewarm on it, and I bought a bottle like a week ago.
Yeah, I saw you. I think you did the first impressions on it and a few others, and you was like, you love that line anyway, though.
Yeah, I do. It's one of my favorites ever.
Yeah, but people change. H24. I remember when H24 came out, I seen like a lot of people like, oh, this is.
I was one of the few in the crowd that was just like into it from the start.
Oh, yeah.
I was one of the few.
The moment I went out to Saks or somewhere and I smelled it and I was like, oh yeah, Bloomingdale's. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. It's
so different. It's such a departure from everything else that was coming out. That's what I loved about it.
Absolutely. But back to it, everybody be like, oh, if it's just get X-rays, don't get EDT, or get EDP, don't get EDT. One lasts longer than the other. And not necessarily. This is an EDT, La Isla Blanca. Y'all know how I feel about this. I am the hype man extraordinaire for this fragrance. This lasts all day. At EDT, it lasts now.
The balancing of the notes in the formula dictates how loud a fragrance will be, even more so than the oil concentration.
Absolutely.
For you guys that didn't know watching, it's not just about oil concentration. It's the way they balance the base versus the top. It really is an art form, the way these things are created, especially when we're talking master perfumers that are creating the kind of stuff that we're showcasing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So La Isla Blanca, I think they discontinued the EDT and they have an EDP now. What's the difference? I don't know. Remind Monty Gold, don't rock with me. I'm not, and I don't feel a need to buy it. I got a full bottle of this. I don't. I mean, maybe if I'm going to Tyson's this weekend, Sunday, maybe my other store might have it in, because they do have some Ramon Monty Golds. They have it in. I will compare and contrast, and in my Facebook group, I will tell y'all. But outside of that, I don't know if there's a difference, but I'm also not about to spend a lot of money to figure that out.
I don't
when I own that.
It's probably going to be pretty redundant, I would think. If they discontinued that and then just brought a higher oil concentration, you probably lose a little brightness, and it's probably a very similar formula.
Absolutely. I mean, even people who I know got the EDP, they was like, oh, I love it. They was like, they love it.
It's probably just, if you love the EDT, I'm sure you love the EDP.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So I see nobody else want to come on. All right, go ahead. I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of scrolling. If you have a say for it if performance is important. Leave your comments down below so I can read it now. Because scrolling back up while I've been talking for almost 45, well, about an hour now, it's just not going to happen. It's just too much. I don't know how you do it, bro. Well, I guess if I should start doing live like you do, just talk to the people. Just do a random live.
Talk to people, man. That's my favorite way to do it. I mess with people. We talk shit to each other. It's a good time. It's your core supporters or who is going to be in your live chat.
Yeah. We definitely going to do that.
That's who's going to rock with you with no matter what content you put out.
Let me see. Somebody has some. I'm going to put this comment up because John, I picked up La Isla Blanca on La Maison du Parfum. I haven't heard of that site. I don't know the legitimacy of it, but let me see. Somebody put a comment. Performance is important to me, working 12-hour shifts, but other than that, it doesn't. Yeah. So John, that's fair. I'm at work. I want to smell it every day. I don't know what I do at work, but yes, 12-hour shifts, then yes, it works. But always say when you take work out of it. And the only reason why I try to take work out of it, and I'm doing it based on algorithm. I'm having these conversations based on algorithm. I see what y'all are watching. I see what the community is clicking on. I see what fragrance enthusiasts and non-fragrance enthusiasts talk about. And I see you, Jared. I'm going to bring you on in a minute. Give me a second, bro. Make sure you're listening on StreamYard and not on YouTube. It's going to be a delay. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, okay? But I'm gonna bring you in. And I seem like you in uniform, my fellow soldier, and my fellow brother. I got you.
Which Jared is it?
Jared Sharp.
Okay, I don't know this gentleman.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I'm gonna allow this brother on as soon as I get a thumbs up from him. But what was I saying?
With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and give him some room to get some spotlight, man. If people see me on screen enough, I don't want to take away from anybody. I just wanted to come say hello. Saw the link was up there. My kind of topic. Figured I'd come jump on for a minute and weigh in and chop it up with you.
Well, Ross, you already know I appreciate you. You know, we're going to always build when something else come on, man. Because, hey, I'm going to hit you up because there's some other fragrances that don't last long that I got in my cart from a particular site that I think are summer bangers. I just don't feel like dropping
I don't
feel like dropping like 400 on all four of them. But it's we're going to talk. When I get out of here, I'm going to talk about those fragrances. All right, brother. Peace.
Have a great rest of your stream, my man.
All right, number love, bro. All right, Jared, can you see me? I can see you in the waiting room. Just give me a thumbs up when you can see me. All right, you ready? Come on in, brother. Sir. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm just on this watch. I had to tune into your joint, man. YouTube didn't tell me you was live, man. So I was kind of disappointed that I missed everything before that. But I know you recorded the whole shit. So
man, listen, man. Let's stop, man. We're gonna show some love to our brothers and sisters in the military. One of the best decisions I ever made in my entire life. Do me a favor, turn down the YouTube because I feel like I'm hearing echo on the YouTube.
No, I don't have my YouTube on me, though.
All right, I don't know what I'm hearing. Okay, don't worry about it. But I always want to show love. You be safe out there. Keep your head up high. Make good choices. How long you been in, brother?
Man, I've been in, so May 3rd was 10 years. I'm going to do 11 and then go ahead and slide. I'm actually following in your footsteps, man. I'm enjoying my fragrance journey. I have a pretty decent sized fragrance wardrobe, you know what I'm saying? But I'm to give you your flowers, you know what I'm saying? You gave me mine. I appreciate you, man, but I got to give you yours because you've really, watching your channel has really made me tune in to what I'm smelling. I have a lot of the clone fragrances that you talked about and that you mentioned in your live and that you mention all the time, you know what I'm saying? And that other fragrance reviewers mention all the time too. And they are the beast mode fragrances. But like you mentioned earlier, man, they're not and Ross just mentioned it a second ago, they don't have that quality and the three layers, the three steps. They're not progressing to the heart and to the base, to the mids. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not getting that. Like I have this on right now. It's a beast mode fragrance. It's a dual joint, but I'm not getting that. You don't get you just get the top for the entirety of the fragrance and a little bit of base in the mids. And it's a cluster F of perfumery as opposed to getting a must therapy or a must ravageur or something like that gives you the 3-step progression. And it may not be the beast mode, but it's quality fragrance. You know what I'm saying? It's quality perfumery, handcrafted. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of care and a lot of thought process into those fragrances. And they're going to cost you a little bit more than the duals or the clones, but it's good perfumery, bro. Like you can't put a, you know what I'm saying? If you like it, if it interacts real with your skin, man, just go ahead and buy it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Absolutely.
appreciate your channel for putting everybody on game with that for sure.
I appreciate, man. Listen, I appreciate you. Listen, I got a soft heart for my brothers. I don't care what service or branch. What branch you in, brother?
U.S. Navy, baby.
All right. Shout outs to the Navy, man. Shout out to the Corpsman, right? Consider Corpsman. I don't want to.
No, I'm an AME, man. I work on aircraft, F-18s.
Okay. All right. Well, man, hey, keep your head safe. Get your thing, man. Go ahead and slide up out of there. Retire. Live your life, bro. Enjoy yourself. Don't forget to get your benefits in order when you're getting out. You know what I'm saying? Make sure those benefits start setting it up. Matter of fact, hit my you follow me on IG?
Oh yeah. Well, I got you on the. I'm in the Facebook group right now. I can hit you up on IG right now.
Hit me on IG. Hit my inbox. Let's build. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got a soft spot for my brother. Best decision I ever made in my life. Nothing and nobody else who didn't go that path. But you know, it takes a special brotherhood, a special kinman. That's for life. I don't care what we do. We all for it. Anything else you want to add before we show your flowers? Before we finish?
Man, look here. I just want to congratulate you on your success thus far. I love the ciphers that you do. They crazy, right? You just keep doing your thing, bro. Like we loving it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get to, and I know you mentioned it before. You're not looking for the, you know what I'm saying? You're just putting the game out there, and hopefully some people will take it, and those that don't. You know what I'm saying? But I really appreciate. I can only speak for me. I really appreciate the work that you're doing for us, man. I really appreciate it. You really getting my nose together, and I know you getting all of our noses together. That's in the chat, everybody that's in the chat too. So, man, congratulations, and keep building. We're gonna be here for you, and we're gonna be here to support you the whole way.
All right, man. Peace, brother. I appreciate you more, brother. You keep your health safe, and man, nothing but love and respect to you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, peace. Listen, man, I got my soft spot for the military. It's always gonna be there. Sorry, not sorry. All my brothers and sisters in the chat, former and current, love to you, love to you, love to you. You know, we got a month of remembrance in a couple of weeks for those who couldn't be here with us, who couldn't make it. People who haven't served in the military, do me a favor. Don't walk up to us and tell us Happy Memorial Day. Please don't. A lot of us lost some people. We don't want to hear that. Respectfully. I'm just putting you on the game. Happy Memorial Day is not the way to do it. It is to honor the fallen. That's what we do. Please just don't do that. You know, just respectfully. Let me see. See who else talking. Get this comment in. Anybody else want to come on? A million thanks to those who serve. Absolutely. Let me get you on. A million thanks to those who serve. Absolutely. But let me see. Let me put y'all on to another excerpt from one of my favorite books before we get up out of here. Your excellent track record. This is from the Way of the Superior Man. Your excellent track record is meaningless to her. A man's track record means nothing to the feminine. A man should be could be perfect for 10 years, but if he's an asshole for 30 seconds, his woman acts like he's always been one. The feminine responds to moment of energy, forgetting her man's history of past behavior. A man's past behavior is irrelevant to his woman, feeling in the moment. Remember that, y'all. But men base much more on a man's history of behavior. So don't think that their own track record should count for something, but to a woman, it doesn't. You know, men, women, we view things differently. A man, what's your history? What you been doing, bro? That matters to us. What you been doing? What you been doing? I don't know, man. You was doing A, B, C, and D. It ain't, you know, don't really rock with you. I can't rock with you. I can. A woman is, you know, what you do for me lately? What you doing right now? It is, again, man, these are great books. When I say seduction, that's why Overspring, it's just, it baffles me. It baffles the I need compliments. I'm dropping panties, but I'm overspraying. I'm going to be honest. Every time I smelled a woman from far away filling up a room, it was turned me off. It pushed me away. It just didn't it didn't do what it was supposed to, what I think she was trying to do. It ain't work for me. And then if I got to get close to talk to her, it's just too loud. It's burning my nostril hairs. But when you walk by me and I can only smell a little bit of it, that's it. One of my favorite fragrances that will get me to turn my head is Louis Vuitton Spell on You. If a woman wears it, it's not a loud fragrance from Louis Vuitton. You put that on, you walk by me, I'm gonna turn my head. Like 100% time. If I smell it, I'm turning my head. Will I say anything? Depends. Maybe not. Depends on what your energy is like. Might say, oh man, you smell amazing. I don't want your number. Keep pushing. You don't gotta tell me about your man. But it works. I got one of my 10 women who follow me and support. But we're gonna have somebody else give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Emily. So I know that you hear me. Okay. We're gonna bring one of our woman subscribers on. Emily, how are you doing today? Good to see you.
Very good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you have for the people?
Well, first of all, so I'm a perfumer, and I had a package for you years ago that I lost my nerve to send to you.
That's okay. I'm gonna put you on the big screen. Talk to us. So what's your, as a perfumer, what are your thoughts? Or talk to that. You know what? I'm glad I have you on. I'm glad I have you on. Let me put us back on screen. I'm glad I have you on because let's talk about a few things. Top, mids, and base notes. What does that even mean? Because, and before I give you the air, I've seen people review fragrances and they be like, oh, when I first spray it on, and it's like they only smell the top. And I'm like, but the base is what is built on. If you're not smelling the base when you first spray it, then I'm like, you full of, I think you're lying to the people. You're just reading off Fragrantic and can read notes. But that's my perception. I'm gonna let you have at it. You have the floor.
Okay, so the question is, what the heck are top, heart, and base notes? Yeah.
Yes.
So we think about them as how long they last throughout a fragrance. So the top notes, you think about citruses often, and those are, they don't last that long. They're rather fleeting. So just a few minutes probably. Mm-hmm. And that's something that perfumers take into account, the evaporation rate of the materials when they're composing, because you want everything to flow seamlessly and fluidly so that there's not these drop-offs of weird evaporation rates when you stop smelling them. So heart notes are ones that generally we think about that they're going to last anywhere to an hour off sometimes. I like for mine to be very long lasting.
Okay.
And those heart notes could be a lot of different things depending upon how, it's not always only florals. It can be other things. It can even be fruits, depending upon that specific material and how long it's before it evaporates. So it can be a little bit, when we think about fruit notes, there can be citrus notes that last throughout the fragrance that perfumers use specific materials to extend, and they use complementing materials to extend them as well. So then your base notes are the ones that really, really last the longest. They're going to be on there. So if your fragrance lasts on your skin 6 hours, then it's going to be there probably, they're going to emerge slowly because they're very large molecules. They emerge slowly and they last longer. And those are the things that you typically think of, the musks. I heard you say florals and white musks earlier. I was like, oh, my love language.
Yes. I love those. I think more people, but especially men who are scared of florals because of, I think I'm gonna do that. I think maybe next week we're gonna do masculine and feminine, sex and fragrances, gender and fragrances. We're gonna get into that. So I definitely want you to join me for that, gender and fragrances. We're gonna get into it, but definitely embrace florals. I'm not trying to throw it in y'all face, but in the spring and summer, those musks, now jasmine is hard for me. Jasmine, but I find that Jasmine Sambac is a little bit, it's not as indolic. I find it a little bit more creamier. Am I right on that, or am I wrong?
Yes, you are. I love this kind of talk. So without getting like overly technical and turning all of your viewers away.
No, I think they like this. They like this stuff. We're going to build. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Let's do it. So when we hear about jasmine or any material, so like I typically don't like lavender, but there are so many kinds of lavender and there are so many kinds of jasmine. So I, just like you, I don't care for the indolic jasmine. It's not my thing. I hate it. I like 0% indol in any of my jasmines. And so when Jasmine Sambac is one of those that is a lot less, it's a lot less indolic. It's lighter, sweeter, creamier, and it also tends to blend then really well with the creamier woods. Like for example, certain sandalwoods that are very creamy, then that's a nice way to bridge them with their common creamy aspects.
Okay, that's good. Now, can we talk about another note? People need, man, I'm so glad you came on. First, I appreciate you for supporting the content. That's first and foremost. And I want more women to come on because I like having general conversations that's not based on fragrances getting some sex. I think that's needs some change, but that's just me. It's not my cup of tea. But let's talk about bergamot and the different nuances of bergamot. I find bergamot bergamot can be fruity, but I also find it to be used as a substitute for florals. Am I right on that? Like a almost floral nuance. Am I right on that?
Yes, yes. So this is so interesting because I often wonder, because you mentioned too, without, I want to get to your point, but just as something you said earlier about if you can smell that it is a quality fragrance, that they're high quality ingredients. And I was so curious to know first how you pick that out and how you see the difference between them, because I think often, and it's nobody's fault, because how would you know if you're not a perfumer?
Right.
But I think we sometimes think we know what something smells like, but we don't actually.
Absolutely. And let's talk, so what I would say is this. Like for instance, when I talk about my rose ouds, right? I have some experience with buying like pure oud oils. So I love the beauty of oud, especially Cambodian oud. It can literally be worn by itself. You don't need anything with it. It has so many different nuances, oud within itself. So from leathery to, like, I have Kalakasi oud. It's from the northern part of India. That smells like the rainforest. It smells of jackfruit. It's damp. It's almost moldy. It's earthy. It has those, it smells like the Amazon jungle. What I would think the Amazon jungle, where I can smell the water, that's what it smells like. It's very transportive. So when I smell that fragrance, does that mean that they may use synthetics in here? Yeah, possibly. But when I say quality, I don't mean natural, because I don't know. So I don't want to stand on natural. What I use, a lot of words in what I find in fragcom from reviewers, people who are looked at as the know-all, the be-all, which really perfumers are, right? That's why I want to build with more perfumers, and I need to do a show, have the perfumers calling, so we can just talk about it, so people can learn. We overly use this word synthetic, and a lot of times we use synthetic to describe Invictus, Aqua, and things of that nature, when synthetics are used for everything. I prefer to use artificial and natural smelling. Doesn't mean it's natural. Is there real rose de mine here? Maybe not. I don't know. I didn't make it. But what I will say is this is a very vibrant, very rich, very natural smelling rose. Very natural. Is it real rose de mine? I don't know. I can't tell you that it is or it isn't, but it smells of such, as I have smelled. Like sometimes I would also try to train my nose is, there's a company, I can't think of the name. I will buy samples of certain notes and just smell it so I can train my nose. Like geranium, I find to be slightly minty green. Sometimes depending on how it's paired, I can find it smelling like the stem of the rose, like when you cut the rose. And like that aroma you get, I can find it to be that, but I can also find it to be minty. petitgrain. I find it to be, although citric, I find it to be more green than orange blossom. And I find it to be more, not as soapy as neroli. So training myself to smell these different things in fragrances is, I say, okay, well, yes, I can smell a lot of fragrances, but how do I really individually know? So then I will buy different notes to try to at least grasp what it is I'm smelling. I'm sorry, I'll talk too much. Go ahead.
No. I love all of this. I love to hear this because, I think that's, some people just want to enjoy a fragrance and they don't want to get into all the weeds on that. And that's cool. But I think it is awesome to see reviewers and any fragrance enthusiast train their nose to, what does geranium actually smell like? And it smells nothing like, in its absolute form, it smells nothing like we think it smells in a fragrance. So I just think that's so exciting, and probably, it adds to what you can offer your viewers as far as your insight. And I think that's wonderful. Petitgrain, I feel it's very, very spicy. So yes. I like to pair it with bergamot for some spice together, and certain other mandarins as well. Because, there's all different types of mandarin notes out there. There's all different types of species of, you name it, any, cedar. God, there's, so many cedars.
Atlas cedar and that smells different, or Haitian vetiver and Java vetiver, and all of it is different. And it's like, well, what are we smelling? And I think we should smell different. As I smell more, I pick up different things, but there's still some things that I'm like, okay, Rose de Mai, Taif rose, like I love that. To me, I get this almost lemony, almost lemon tea, honey lemon tea with that when I smell it in fragrances. And May rose, I find to be a little just bright, citric, very vibrant, like if your skin was made of rose petals. But then Bulgarian rose, I find to be a little bit warm, cinnamony, slightly raspberry. So I get those different nuances, but then you got Turkish and Damask, which is also a little bit different. And then you got Rose Absolute, which is a little bit more ambery, right? So that's just,
there's so much. I like to think of them as different characters. So for example, the Turkish rose is like, I think of a Turkish rose as like a real spicy, mouthy woman. Like I think of like a Sophia Loren or someone who's big and spicy and mouthy and not sorry.
Yeah. It's so much different differences when it comes to notes and also accords. I find a lot of times when we read these notes, listen, I always hate when I see a review or a reviewer say this fragrance is well blended, but they can smell every note. I don't know how that's possible, because a lot of these notes create accords. Yes, I might say I use bergamot, mandarin, and that's, but it just creates this juicy, almost rosy, but slightly tart, fruity accord. And then when you start getting the white florals, jasmine and rose, and depending on the rose, I'm just getting this bouquet of florals. Like I always find when rose and geranium come together, I get this spicy, fresh cut rose with the green stem. I tend to get, depending on who's doing it and how they do it. And then when you start talking about incense, and different incense might just create this nice amber accord, just this almost resinous balsamic amber accord, which can also be animalic. It depends. But I'm like, how are you smelling all the notes when they're creating accords? Stop reading notes to people. They don't. What does that mean? Like if I just pick up a fragrance and I just say, oh man, you get the top notes. This is lemon, and you get some jasmine and amber and some cedar. To most people, that means nothing. It means nothing to people if they don't know what it smells like.
You're right, completely. And this is something that my perfumer friends and I talk about, the distinction between an ingredients list and a note layout. So you may be, so for example, one of my fragrances has a praline accord in it. I'm not going to list every single thing that's in there that makes up the praline accord. It's a lot of things come together. It doesn't mean anything to other people.
Right.
When we name all this, or even naming for the common, even collectors, enthusiasts, for most people wearing fragrance, they couldn't tell you the difference between vetiver from Haiti versus Paraguay. They, so when we list those things in, when you see it on Fragrantica or in somebody's marketing, I just have to wonder if people really know, and what is the purpose of putting, why is the perfumer listing that when it doesn't even really make sense.
Yeah.
But there's also, so accords, I guess maybe we just define what an accord is for people. I don't know how familiar they are, but an accord is when you take some materials and you are constructing some particular type of scent you want, such as praline, or a rose accord. So I'm going to take all the aroma compounds that are found in roses. Well, not all of them, because there's many, but everything that you smell is made up of many, many molecules, fragrant molecules. And so the perfumer is looking to those fragrant molecules, finding them and putting them in the right proportions to recreate a rose or some kind of sandalwood, or maybe like vinyl seating in a car. Okay, so there's not two things that you can use to recreate the smell of a vinyl jacket or something like that.
Right.
You make an accord.
Yeah. Real quick, hold on. Let me take a pause because I want to address something in the comments real quick. Admins, I didn't catch it. But Kyler, I appreciate you. Jared, I appreciate you. If somebody was talking crazy, do me a favor, screenshot it, send me. I'm gonna block them. It can never come on my live again. I don't know what was said, but I don't know if it was disrespect to the guest or whoever it was, but I see a lot of people shouting out to the admins. People, as I always say, don't smear shit on my cashmere rug. You're gonna respect everybody that comes on, regardless if they agree with me, disagree, or we agree together. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna stop telling y'all about that, but block them if y'all can, admins. We're gonna keep it pushing. But hit me in my inbox, admins, and just let me know what was actually said, because I'm gonna find that person and I'm gonna block them. They can never come on. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off, but I just don't.
No, it's okay.
I don't tolerate certain things in my space. Yeah. So accords, yeah, exactly. You're not extracting leathers. Leather oil, oil from leather, squeezing the leather and getting oil from it, right? You're creating. So let me, since we're talking about longevity, because I want to continue to build with you on other shows, definitely hit me in my IG inbox so we can build, because I definitely want to bring you on, talk about other topics. When you talk about longevity and fragrances, or this is a multifaceted question. When you decide, let's back it up. When you decide to create a fragrance, what goes through your head as far as, okay, this is what I want to do, or this is what I want to create? And does longevity performance come into that, or is that something that just happens?
It does, but not as the first, second, or third thing that I think of. So I'm starting out, I'm not even starting out thinking about what I want it to smell like at all. Like what I want the notes are. I'm thinking about what I want, like the message that I want to get across, what I want the wearer to experience, what I hope it will, maybe it will tell them something about themselves. Just think of more abstract than just, I want it to smell like I'm sitting under a coconut tree or whatever. That's just how I do it and how I keep myself organized. So I'm thinking about the experience of the fragrance first and foremost. And then I'm thinking about the setting. What does it look like? Who's there? What are the colors? What are the textures? What do I see? What's outside of the frame? all these sorts of things. And then I start thinking about what do I want it to smell like? And then I start thinking about, okay, so what do I need to, what can I use? What do I need to recreate? And how am I going to sort of sew these all together so that they're seamless and so that they last, because performance and longevity is incredibly important to people. I agree. I don't like paying for a fragrance that I really like and then it doesn't last. It irritates me. I mean, whatever. I'm like the smallest of the small brands and I can make fragrances last long.
Right.
So there's really no excuse for anybody else not to be able to do that. However, that said, it depends on the materials you're using. So if something that is going to have a lot of musk in it, which you might not be able to tell that it has a lot of musk because there's so many kinds of musks. Musk doesn't just smell like one thing. So I'm looking at all the materials that I want to use and then what kind of longevity will it look like it'll be. I track all of this in a spreadsheet of my descriptions of fragrances and what the number of hours they will last, like on paper. Or so then I look for things that last long, but some things are not meant to. I was talking about this with JJ Colburn on his Effluvium panel a month ago or something, about how some things aren't meant to last. Some fragrances aren't meant to last forever. And what is it, maybe what is it about ourselves that we are clinging so neurotically to that we don't want to let go and just accept that things don't last forever?
That's a great segue. That's a great build. Yeah, I almost akin it to chasing a high.
Yes.
It's chasing a high, right? It's the first time people who are it's a part of addiction, right? It's the first time that you had a drink, first time you smoked a cigarette, the first time you had marijuana, the first time you had sex, whatever it is, it's an addiction or the first time. And every time thereafter is a chase of it. So it's the chase of buying a new bottle. Sometimes when I say, why are you buying that? I did a video. Why are you buying all that? Sometimes it's the chase of, I got a new package. I got to open it up. I got to buy. And not thinking about how you building your collection. So I think a lot of times we're chasing after things. And if you're chasing, it's running away and it's getting farther. And generally speaking, when you chase something, you'll never get it.
Never will.
And you'll never be satisfied. So you're insatiable.
That's so, oh my God, we're totally aligned here. So like I make perfume and I sell it, but I honestly think people should buy less perfume. You will never, those bottles are never going to love you back, and even though, people should enjoy what they enjoy. And I think that's wonderful. But one of the reasons I started making perfume was because I didn't connect with anything that there was just most things that I liked, but I just didn't feel that it was for me, or I didn't feel like it was me. And I just gave away things all the time. And that just seemed ridiculous to do. But yeah, you can chase something but when you stop chasing is when it comes to you, and there's also, I think too, there's that dopamine hit, it's social media. I post something, all these people are like, oh, I love this. How do you love it? There's an interaction. And that's just the way we are as humans, is that then we get this kind of like this dopamine hit, right? That we keep wanting, because it feels good. And so it isn't even about the fragrance, maybe, is it? Maybe it isn't even about the fragrance. Maybe it's the connection to other people, or the connection to a community, or something. I mean, maybe it is just about the fragrance, but there may be something else there.
I have a question. Let me read it first and make sure it is fragrance. What is stored correctly? Okay. I think this is a great question for you. Question for Emily: what's the best way to keep a fragrance stored? And if stored correctly, can they last 10, 20 to 30 years? I'll let you have the floor on that.
All right. So in the dark,
Mm.
cool and dark, and dry. So not in your bathroom. Please don't keep them in your bathroom. Probably everybody here knows that. But you want to keep it cool and dry and away from the light. But over time, yes, things will break down. They chemicals. They break down over time. So as far as 10, 20, 30 years, I mean, it's going to change anyway. Your fragrance is going to change as they continue to mature, and they may become stronger, or it's just hard to tell with however they made it, whoever it was. So it's a little hard to know, but they can last many years. Yes, if we take good care of them, keep them cool, dark, and dry.
I'll say this, and I want to continue to build with you offline as well as online, and have you on, because you're a wealth of knowledge, and I need more people with knowledge. I know only what I know, but I never created a fragrance. I haven't been classically trained or trained myself. I just know what I know, and what I know is limited. And as somebody always said, when you understand that you don't know shit is when you know everything. I
feel like the more I learn, the less I know.
Yes. Yes. So experience is the teacher. Experience is the teacher. Yeah. But what is your thoughts? One thing that we assess about in the fragrance community is reformulation. And a lot of times people think, oh, well, it's reformulated. It used to last long. It didn't. Part of me is like, well, because your senses just aren't smelling the way you used to. Sometimes it could be, but I think everybody thinks something reformulated when it be like, I wore it the other day. It lasted 10 hours. It don't last 10 hours no more. So it's reformulated. What's your thoughts on reformulation in fragrances before we head out and build, offline?
Yes, of course. So reformulation could be for many different reasons. I imagine that most houses are reformulating not to increase longevity, or probably not even really for performance. If we're honest, I'm speculating. Okay. But they are probably because there are changes in the laws about how much of any certain material is safe to use or not. So that definitely affects, or something may become less available or extremely expensive. So they have to reformulate. Those are the reasons that I'm just kind of familiar with. Availability, changes in laws. It's probably not to increase performance, but it might be, depending upon how it is reformulated.
All right, somebody has a question for you. And real quick, y'all, we're going to answer maybe 2 more questions. I'm going to let the crowd answer the questions or ask the questions. Just give me a second and we'll get to it. One of the questions for you, and then we're going to end this live. Do perfumers or fragrance houses decide on longevity or projection?
Oh, I imagine. So I'm just one. I'm just me, one person. But I imagine in larger houses that there's a budget, and the perfumer or that department is told, this is how much money you have to create this fragrance. This is what I want. Here's how much you get. Now go do it. That's just from other jobs that I've had, I imagine that's probably what it's like, which kind of hurts my heart a little bit, because I think about, when I smell some certain things and I think, oh man, I know that they could do better than that. But I just bet you that there was a budget thing and they had to use more benzyl acetate instead of something else, because it's cheaper. So I imagine in those larger houses that the decision is made for the perfumer, how much they get to spend, and then they have to do the best they can with what they've got.
Great questions. I'll tell you what. If somebody has another question, I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to, let me scroll down to the bottom. If you have, we'll take just 2 more questions. If nothing comes up, we're going to end the live, and me and Emily will build offline, and I will come up with more topics to have. We can answer some real questions, especially in my Facebook group, if y'all have questions, because I want y'all knowledge. Let's raise the knowledge level for everybody, yes, myself included. Yes. Knowledge is power. Knowledge helps everybody, and we don't have to be continuous walking around ignorance. Ignorance is a choice in 2023.
And I learned so much from you guys. I learn constantly from the people who I interact with and have become friends with. And there's so many things that other people know and that I learned from you all, what you're looking for, what your experience is like, what people kind of understand or don't.
So I'm sorry. No. I'll cut you off. I don't like cutting off you. Okay. All right. So who is Emily's favorite perfumer? Who has she drawn like who inspired you? Let's go there. Who inspired you to create the fragrances, or how did that start real quick? And I think we'll probably end on that.
Yeah. So I was a teenager in the 90s, in the early 90s. And so that was the time of Jovan White Musk, and Colors of Benetton was the first
Colors of Benetton.
It was the first fragrance I ever got, like a whole bottle. And I was just so in love with how it sparkled. I know now that it was Jean-Claude Elena who composed it. And actually, I got a bottle of it kind of recently. I was afraid to, because I was like, oh, what if it's not the same and it ruins the memory?
Right. Fragrance is a memory. That's important. Memory is tied to fragrance.
A memory. Absolutely. And we could even talk about like where that is in the brain, which I find fascinating too. However, that whole genre of like slightly powdery white florals and white musks are that's just probably in my literal DNA and in my fragrant DNA.
Okay, that's great, Emily. Just because we're about to get on 2 hours, do me a favor, just stay on, and in the backstage, me and you we'll talk about building. But
that sounds great.
People, this is what we get. Y'all learned something. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all took something away. We're going to keep doing these shows. I want to build. I want to have more people of knowledge. I want to have perfumers on, so you don't have to watch certain reviewers or reviewers. Just read fragrance notes out Fragrantica and tell you what it is. At least you can have an idea of what that may or may not smell like. I encourage all people, if you can, places to get samples of the actual individual notes to try to at least be able to pick out stuff that helps. But even then, where was that source from? It's different. It's a lot. Bergamot in different places from different places smell different. That's right. It is what it is. But to at least give you an understanding of what it is that you're smelling, I think it's highly important. At least if you're watching us or you're watching fragrances on YouTube, you probably are a fragrance enthusiast, not just a regular fragrance wearer who just goes in Macy's and buys whatever a salesperson says is the most popular fragrance, which is what a lot of people do. But with that said, people, if we don't have any more questions, knowledge is power. Absolutely very informative. If we don't have any more questions, we're going to be ending this soon. I want to thank everybody. Again, don't forget to hit the like button. Stay on, Emily, because we're going to talk backstage.
I'll be right here.
Don't forget to hit the like button as you leave out. And we're going to have some fun. My private Facebook group is in the link trees. Don't forget to hit that. You must be a subscriber. I'm not letting anybody in there. To me, it's never been about the numbers. If I just have 200 people in there and we can build, that's all I care about. I don't care if I have 40,000 people, but we're going to build in that group. Topics to be discussed will happen in that group. And I think I'm just going to solely do giveaways if I do giveaways in that group. Why? Because I know y'all subscribe to me and I can control it. So with that being said, thank you all for coming out. I hope y'all enjoyed the impromptu educational class. Check Emily. Do you go ahead and shout yourself out, shout your company out? Let me turn down the music. If people want to know where to find your company, go ahead with it. I'm gonna blow you up.
I am on Etsy. My shop name is Shelter and Perfume. I am on Etsy, and I am seeing some people following on Instagram as we're talking. So thank you very much for that. I'm on there, and then you can get to the link to my Etsy shop from my link tree and Instagram also.
Absolutely, people. So with that, we're going to always keep it respectful, keep it peace. Admins, thank you for adminning. I'll go back and look and see what was said, but I know I blocked one person as Emily was talking. But with that said, y'all already know the deal. Have a great, safe weekend. Drink responsibly. Enjoy your life. And I'm going to leave you the way I greeted you, and that's in the universal language of peace.